Tyson Brown was asking you about the college football video game. He was speaking here a few minutes ago, and he had a difference of opinion from what you said. He said he, quote, beats you almost every time you guys play, and you caught him on a lucky day. Is that true?
Yeah, almost is a good word for playing once. That's good. No, I think we played a few times. I think the most recent time we played, I beat him, but I don't know. I don't keep tabs. I only keep tabs of people I lose to often, you know what I mean? A couple times. Maybe once, I don't know. But I think I've beaten him more than he's beaten me. So that's what I remember.
Who's the best player of all of your players who have coached you?
Oh, I really don't know that question. I coached a player, Jason Stewart, at Memphis. But that was when everybody would play the video game because it wasn't created. So you'd go back and play the old game. And he was phenomenal. So Jason Stewart from Memphis was probably the best player I've ever seen play the game. It just wasn't the new games, it was the old game. Phenomenal player.
How much does that translate to like a natural aptitude for coaching?
I don't know how much. I mean, I just like dudes that like to compete whatever they're doing. So I'd rather a dude play a video game than sit on their phone and scroll TikTok. So, guys who love football, whatever that avenue is. If you're playing a video game and you choose to play football, like that's way better for me than doing something else that you could be doing.
The World Cup trip has been super popular among the players, and I was just wondering from your experience, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Can you just walk me through your feelings of that game and just how that experience was for you?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, college football is about experiences for guys, and for them to be able to experience that and be able to do something that's a bucket list item for people. I never dreamed I'd go to a World Cup. Now it's here in the city that we're flying into. It was one of those things sometimes when things are meant to be, they're meant to be, and it was meant to be for us to go to the game and for those guys to get that experience together, something they'll never forget. And it was fun to watch just how fast the game is live. The game never stops. I mean, there's 3 breaks in the entire game. There's the hydration break, there's, middle of the game, and then there's the other hydration break. And for it just to go so fast and never stop, it's just such a different feel than, a football game where it's like touchdown, TV timeout, kickoff, TV timeout sometimes. So to feel the flow of the game just go and the amount of shape those guys have to be in and see it live is pretty impressive.
Beyond just the actual game itself, having like the international fan atmosphere, does that almost get you and the players even more excited for going to London where there will be a similar kind of international fan environment?
I mean, I probably should answer the question yes and play that up, but to be honest, not really. But yes, drastically. It really affects us in a way that we're really, really excited to get there after feeling a taste of football and those fans, for those fans to root for us.
Coach Dillingham, can you talk to us about Grayson Rignan's progress since he signed?
Oh, he's gained about 20 pounds. He had one of the best springs, one of the biggest growths of somebody in spring. He's going to help our football team this football season. Big fan of Grayson. He's also one of the better hoopers. We have a court or a hoop in the front of our building, and he's one of the better shooters on our team. So he has a little bit of that as well.
Coach Trace Trolka, Sons of UCF, you play the Knights later on in Orlando. Coach Frost has brought in Alonzo Barnett. What do you think he can mean for the program as the second year under center?
Yeah, I think he's a phenomenal coach. I mean, he took that program that was once, not doing great, and he turned them into an undefeated football team. And I got to face those teams that he had at UCF when I was at Memphis, and they were our Achilles heel. We had some great battles back and forth. I think we had like a 110-point championship game one year there. That was absolutely wild, but I think he does a phenomenal job, and he's a great person. My brother-in-law and him are actually great friends, so hopefully my neighbor's sister and her husband will root for us that week.
What do you think having Alonzo Barnett at quarterback will mean for you?
Yeah, it's a proven guy, proven starter, proven winner. So I think anytime you get a proven guy in your organization, it's a win.
What's it like having Mikey Keene part of your program?
Oh, I mean, he's a local dude who kicked our butt in year one. One of the most embarrassing games we've been a part of. They absolutely destroyed us, and he was on the other side of that. I think we had 8 turnovers in the game. So to be on the side of Mikey now, and to see him just distribute the ball like he does in practice, it's fun to see.
Coach, Colin Klein comes back to Kansas State to lead his alma mater. Just wondering, from your perspective, the pressures that you had when you first took it over and leading Arizona State.
Yeah, no pressure. You're either going to win or you're going to lose, right? Like, there's really 2 options. You're going to win and they're going to like you, You're going to not win as much, and they're going to hate you again. Or you're going to lose, and they're just going to hate you a step faster, right? It's still an inevitable process. And so I think for him, just be himself, and I know he is. I mean, he's comfortable there. There's not a coach in our league that could possibly be more comfortable at where they're coaching than probably him. I mean, he's a legend there. The success he had there on the field, success he had there as a coach. He recruited Avery to there. So, like, he's got a quarterback that he's got a great relationship with as well. So it's a perfect store for him, and I'm rooting for him.
Jalen Clem was up here earlier kind of talking about how Coach Joe is already getting the guys' bodies ready for the kind of schedule that you guys have. What do you just appreciate about Coach Connolly and just what he means to the team?
Yeah, he does a great job. I mean, he's around our players more than we are. The strength coach is a critical piece in the discipline of your program. And if your strength coach doesn't have discipline, doesn't have standards, your program's not going to have it because they're not just going to be able to change. So having Coach Connolly and having him set the standard that we want to set as a program and hold it every single day, I think that's a huge step in, what your program's going to be.
With the news from a few weeks ago that Michael Gardner is going to miss the season, how big of a loss is that for you guys, and who are some players that maybe could step up in his absence?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, we were looking forward to him coming back. He had a really good end of the spring when he got back. And there's a bunch of guys that are going to have to step. Hiram's going to have to step up. Zach Swanson, who is back's going to have to step up. Jeffrey Mans is going to have to step up. So we've got a wave of guys that we feel good about stepping up, but it is unfortunate to lose them. We worked really hard to get back, and to have another injury like that, and non-contact stuff, it's just unfortunate.
Can you talk about what Jalen Clem has been through and what it was like supporting him? You talked about family, and here was an off-the-field incident, how you guys supported him and what it's been like having him back.
Yeah, I don't even know if I can go through what he's been through. I think he's the only person who can describe what he went through. I mean, when you have, the illness or injury that he had, and you fight back, and 2 years later, you're on the leadership council for a team, that's absurd. That's wild. That is a movie. And if he continues to progress, it will be a movie. It will be a book. It will be whatever he wants it to be, because it really is an incredible story of a person who's just got the work ethic, the mindset of what you hope, everybody would be in your program.
How has the leadership council helped the coaching staff take a load off?
I don't do much. They do most of it. And I mean that. This is a player-run program. We're going to be as good as the standard that the players set. We're going to set a minimum expectation. Okay, you're late and you get punished or whatever happens, right? That's the minimum expectation. But at the end of the day, what raises your bar is your own players. So our minimum expectation is set. That's what we set. What we're going to be is what our players choose to be. And I think this group has chosen the hard way, and I think that's the exciting part, because they're not choosing the easy way out. I think they're choosing the challenging way to build this team and to work together in the offseason. They're taking the hard route, and the hard route usually works.
Alfred was your team speech kind of guy last year. Any idea who that team speech guy is going to be this year?
I don't know who the team speech guy is going to be. I hope it's not me, but we'll find somebody. And maybe Montana. I think Montana could give speeches. He'll have to take his glasses off for the speeches, but he can. He'll be able to give them. Or Cyrus. Cyrus will do a great job.
Coach, last time you brought in a Colorado wide receiver, it worked out pretty well with Jordan Tyson. Just kind of what gives you the same confidence that Amarion Miller can be an impact playmaker for you guys right away?
Yeah, I remember playing him, and Coach Prime and his staff do a great job. And I remember our game plan was lean the safety to him, because especially in the low red zone, and he lined up as the number 3 receiver, and our safety was disguising, and he leaned the opposite way, and I'm on the headset saying they're going to throw it to him. It's very simple. They see their best player. They see one person covering them. You throw that dude the ball, right? Football's not very complicated. They throw him a corner out, touchdown. I'm like, gosh, dang it, right? But it gives me a lot of confidence because we game plan for him. We saw what he can do. We saw the danger that he can create when he's on the field. So when you get to really game plan for somebody, you know him so well that we know most of his strengths, most of his weaknesses. And so when he got here, we had a really good plan for what we think he can do.
On the other side of the ball, Owen Long led the country in tackles last year. Just kind of how nice has it been to add him to the linebacker room, and what can he do right away for you guys?
Yeah, he can tackle right away, and that's what we hope he does. At the end of the day, I'm a big believer in what is your position and do that really well. If you're a linebacker, you better tackle really well. If you're a corner, cover, right? If you can't cover, don't play corner. Go play something else, right? If you can't cover at an elite level. I want guys who are elite at the skill set, That is the most important skill set of the position they play. And a linebacker, it's tackling. And that's what he does, and he did it better than anybody in the country last year.
When you
Coach,
go back,
earlier, Coach McGuire talked about the jabs flying on the group text amongst the coaches. Are you part of that group text?
I am, yeah.
Are you a jabber or?
I like to joke. You can call them jabs, you can call them jokes. I mean, I'm a joke around guy. I mean, if people take jokes too seriously, that's a you problem, not a me problem.
Coach, how did you identify Lyric as someone you wanted in the portal, and what's it been like having him?
So Lyric, when he went in the portal, Montana played with Lyric, who's here. There he is, again. And he had nothing but positive things to say about Lyric. He said he was perfect for our program. And then the first time I got on the phone with him, one of his questions were, can I be a leader? And I said, I don't know. That's a you thing, not a me thing. Can you? Like, if you can be a leader, yeah, you'll have the opportunity. I don't play favorites. I don't pick the captains. I don't pick the council. Like, the team picks the council. So if you want to be a leader, be a leader. It's pretty simple. And then he's a phenomenal tackler, and he's physical. And for me, I want to be a tough physical football team. I want people to put on the tape, and I want to see us hit people. Tackle, block. Tackle and block is good or not better than anybody in the country.
when you go back to going back to Omarion, when a guy comes in the portal and he's a team that you've played against and a coach that you respect, you call the other team's coach and ask about him, or is there any kind of, you know?
Just it depends on the guy. I think every single guy is a little bit different with that relationship. So I would say it just depends on the guy. Usually, I would say 50-50. You call, 50-50 you don't.
Kenny, was talking about he thought he made mistakes with his building his roster last year, spending too much money away from the trenches. You talked about the way that you recruited receivers this year and the types of coverages that you're seeing in the Big 12. What's it like being in this era where there's a lot more strategy into where money is allocated on rosters?
Yeah, you got to have a plan for how you're going to beat teams, right? And everybody's got different amounts, everybody's got different advantages, and you got to figure out what you want to do. Do you want to build a safe roster with a very, very high floor, and hey, we're going to at least win blank, blank, and blank? Do you want to build a roster that could win a championship, but the floor could be way lower? If that bottom falls out, your whole program could be destroyed. Do you want to build a roster with a small chance to win a championship, but the floor is still decently high? I think nowadays, more than ever, you got to pick what you want to be. And I think that's just not as a football program, that's an athletic department, that's a university, have to pick what we want to be, because those decisions could have a drastic effect on everything in your program, is what you choose to do, right? And how you choose to go about it.
What do you want to be?
I want to win a championship. Like, if you're not first, you're last. I mean, Ricky Bobby, right? You either go to try to be the best or you're not. And I don't ever talk about championships because I don't care about it. I want to build the team that has the highest ceiling we could possibly create. I guess that's the best way to answer it, is I want to build the team with the highest ceiling. If we play our very best, I want to be a team that can try to compete with anybody. If we play the very, very best we could be, if we grow together better than any team we play, if we are more disciplined, if we're more physical, I want that team to be good enough to be able to compete for a championship, not to be able to, win a good amount of games. But I focus completely on the process and the process-driven. Building a roster, there are things you need in order to win big games. And at the end of the day, you have to have guys who can go up and dominate one-on-ones.
Kenny, you were one of the first coaches to recruit Avery Johnson.
Yeah.
Coming out of Wichita. Could you just take me back to maybe what you saw on tape out of him, what you liked most, maybe how he's grown?
Super dynamic as a runner, and then I got to see him live passing, super dynamic. He came out and visited me going into his sophomore year when I was at Florida State with him and his family. And his brother was an athlete, sister was a collegiate athlete as well. Dad's a diehard Chiefs fan. Mom's the nicest person in the world. So, I just got to meet the entire family, and they have a lot of personality. And I'm like, I can connect with this guy. Kept that relationship pretty much all the way through. So to see him, be going into his fourth year as a starter in college football is really, really fun to watch, to see his kind of growth and success. And now getting back with Coach Klein, who was the guy who signed him and the guy that he really fell in love with in the recruiting process, was him. And to see him back there with him, it's really fun to watch. I'm always rooting for him as he goes, him and the luscious locks, and I used to call him Fabio in recruiting. He used to call me once a week because you can't call kids that young. I used to go eat lunch, sit in the parking lot, and he used to call me once a week. I believe it was Tuesdays at like noon. From his freshman year all the way probably for a year and a half, I spoke to him on the phone or on FaceTime in my car in a parking lot eating lunch. So it was pretty fun to build his relationship.
Coach, talk about going to College Station in week 2, that environment there at Kyle Field, and then obviously with the game last year against Texas Tech at home. Now you're going to Lubbock. Talk about those 2 weeks.
Yeah, obviously going to A&M is a challenge. I mean, that's one of the best teams in the country, one of the best environments. I've been there before, played there before, and that place gets really, really loud. So that'll be a really big challenge for us. They have a returning quarterback. That's another challenge earlier in the year when you have returning quarterbacks. So that'll be a challenge for us too. And then going to Lubbock, the last time we were there, it didn't work out great for us. We didn't play a good football game, so we got to go play a better football game. The one thing I would say is anybody who wants to help us in Lubbock, go ahead and throw that tortilla when it's 3rd and long on offense. If it's 3rd and long and we're on offense and you want to throw that tortilla out there, 15-yard penalty, go ahead, give us first down if you're a Tech fan, right? Go ahead, throw the tortilla for us. I'm more than open to that if you're a Tech fan and really want to, help us out in those 3rd and long scenarios.
Coach, the depth of this conference, you guys keep talking about that, and it seems to be a common theme. Is there someone in your mind that seems to be a quote-unquote sleeper or someone that could surprise people in this league this year?
Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, this league, I think there's been one duplicate winner in however long that's been. You never know who's going to sneak up. The moment you look at your schedule and be like, oh, that's one we should win, like that's not the era of football we're in anymore. When it was 5 years ago and you had a roster and you could look at recruiting rankings and then look to see who played and then say, okay, these guys are returning, very, very easy to project the future. Because you'd say, okay, they've got 12 starters returning. These guys were high recruits to replace them. They played. You can watch those tape and you can go. You can see how it fits. Now, good luck. So I have no clue who's going to be good. I'm just hoping that we're good. That's really the challenge, is be the best you can be.
Coach, you've had a lot of high draft picks in recent years. Who on this year's roster has a chance to play at the next level?
Yeah, I think we've got, in next year's draft, I think you've got, 2 guys off the side of the ball. I think Reed and Omarion have chances to go be, first day or second day round picks. And I think they're both super talented. On the O-line, I think we got guys, but they're a little bit younger from that perspective. To be first-round picks, a first-round pick, you've got to hit some certain measurables, right? So in terms of draft picks, we got a bunch of guys that I think can get drafted on this team, a bunch of guys that have an opportunity to get drafted. CJ Fight's got an opportunity to go in the first day or two. There's 6 to 7 more. I'm just not going to read off a list of all those guys.
When you
Coach,
look at
you've
having
got 2 former Sun Devils in the news, and Jaden Daniels and Brendan Ayuk. Who's winning that beef? Who's winning that fight?
I've been in Vail, Colorado. So, great question.
neither one played for you, right? So
I don't even know what's going on. So, that's a good question. Yeah.
When you look at that, you had 4 draft picks, 2 in the first round this year. What does that say about how far your program has come? And then you had a number of other guys that signed later on, but that's obviously you see the quality and the depth that you were looking to start building.
It was. I mean, when we got here, obviously the year prior and the first year I was here, we had no draft picks, and for the first time in a long time. And we had to increase that and get people there. Part of that is just the culture you build. The culture you build, right, creates work ethic. Those habits create better players. So, and then winning. If you don't win, you don't get guys drafted. So you got to be a part of a program that's going to win, that everybody's got to understand that everybody, it's not like when you fish, right, the bob that pops to the top. Like if you put that in a cup of water, you're only going to be as good as how high that thing raises. And the people in the cup are your team. And if your team is not a good football team, you're going to stay in the middle of that cup. And if you want to be at the top of the cup, you need everybody that's in that cup to raise it with you. It's a team thing. Individual success is team-driven in football. And the moment you think it's not, my success is through the team, right? The quarterback success is through the team. The running back success is through the O-line and the defense. What if you have a star running back and you're down 21 points in every game? He's not going to get his touches. His success isn't there. You need a team in order to have individual success. So I think the fact that we've built a team, that we got a team, those guys started to reap those rewards, that people started to look at them, then they worked really hard, and hopefully that team continues to elevate the individual.
Coach, what's the biggest difference you've had to make as a coach since this whole NIL and transfer portal has become what it is today?
The biggest one is just not get caught up in the stuff that doesn't matter. There's a lot of noise. A lot of noise that have no effect on your football team. And if you get so caught up in the noise, if you get so caught up with what people have done the last 10 years, what people want you to do, and you're not focused on what wins now, I think you can get really distracted. The landscape is changing. And if you're stuck in your old ways of what makes good teams, I think you can get really distracted. So I would just say blocking out the noise is probably the biggest challenge and the biggest obstacle. And having a belief in what you do and doing it, even though that belief may be a little bit different than what's been done the last 15 to 20 years of successful teams.
Is it, going back to my earlier question, is it stressful at all to build a team that you're trying to have the highest upside, but there's also some risk associated with that based on what you're saying?
100%. But I mean, no risk it, no biscuit. Bruce Arians, right? Another Arizona legend right there. And no risk it, no biscuit. I mean, you want to build a team that can compete at the highest level, the best team you can build, and try to be the best version of yourself.
You guys sold out every home game last year. Graham talked earlier about some more of the renovations they're making to Sentinel Stadium. I know you've asked for a lot of money for your program, but what have you been appreciative about just the university's investment in enhancing the game day experience?
Yeah, it's going up. I think they're seeing the connectivity and the affinity. I learned that word like 2 years ago when I got here. We wanted to create affinity, and so I learned that one. And the affinity that the football can create for the university. When we're winning and we're out there and people are in that stadium and it's fun to be in and it's sold out and it's loud and the student section's breaking records and people are out there rushing the field with their kids, which don't rush the field, right? Okay, sometimes. And you have that environment, right? That's addictive. That's something people want to be a part of, and that brings people and galvanizes people about the brand of Arizona State. And the brand of Arizona State is a gigantic brand, not just in the nation, but globally, right? We're opening up a campus in London. We're all over the world. And to be able to use football as a focal point to really brand the university and what Dr. Crow's built, I think is huge. And I think they're understanding the value add that we have to the university from that perspective.
Have you been able to tell the difference between, more fans in the games, how much more energized your players have been on your home field?
100%. College football, home field advantage is real. Like, I remember when I was at Memphis and we went to the bounce house and that place was bouncing, right? And it was a competitive advantage. And, going to at BYU, at Utah, I think it's like 7 to 114 I am right now on the road at Utah, the scores in the two games. I've been the head coach here. I can't getting our butt kicked right now at Utah. Those competitive advantages are real, not just from a weather standpoint, but from a fan standpoint, the noise standpoint, the traditions that are different standpoint. There's so many things in college football that make on the road different. The travel situation, the foods you may eat at certain places may be different. You're not always staying at these 5-star resorts, so the kids may not want to eat before the game because it hurts their stomach. Like, there's so many layers. I won't talk about hotels, but there's so many layers that go into this thing that, it is a competitive advantage to have a good home environment, a good home crowd, and to protect your home field.
Thanks, Coach.